What is going on, everybody, man? King Recon here, and welcome to another edition of the Recon's Piece. Today we're going to be covering this latest special that I decided to cover on this movie marathon slash special marathon, because I'm going to be covering all the specials, or at least I'm going to try to cover all the specials and movies heading into the release of One Piece Stampede. And what better time than during the 20th anniversary of the series, right? But I found one particular special that I'd been looking for, especially lately, you know, because after being caught up for so long, you try to find something that you have never seen before from the series, which is why I've been going out and trying to find some like old classic commercials from the series, or even some Spanish versions of certain movies and whatnot. And while searching through while researching for the latest Recon's piece that I did, researching for the television ratings and all that stuff, I found a translated version of the special Adventure in the Ocean's Navel, man. I've been looking for this for so long, and guess who translated it, bro? Dude, when I saw it, because when I started the special, I noticed the font. When it said Inherited Will in a special font and color, I said, this is Kaizoku fan subs, dog. Kaizoku fan subs. Listen, man, what made that initial catch-up experience so special to me is thanks to those individuals, man. The colored attacks, like, yo, I marked out several times during this special. Whenever you see the Gomu Gomu no and it's in green, man. Small stuff like that made the initial catch-up experience for me so special for One Piece, because it set it apart from any other series that I've ever watched, even since then. Just little small touches like that, man. Great stuff, great stuff. But I had so much fun watching this film slash special. I keep calling it a film, but whatever. You get my drift, man. It's a special. The first ever special, in fact. Going over some quick stats. It aired on December 20th of the year 2000, man. So that took place in between like Logtown and the Oppice arc. So it got a 13.8% television rating, which is very, very good. But usually specials slash movies do very, very well when they air on TV. So really good, especially for that time. One Piece was still hitting its stride on television. It actually got its highest rating during this time, which was well, at the time it got its highest rating, was a 16.6, which didn't get topped, if I'm not mistaken, until they hit the Alabasta saga. So it was hitting its stride here, and then the special was directed by Yukio Kaizawa. One thing I noticed from this special is that two characters, or at least two voices that I immediately recognized. One of them came from, I believe the character's name was like Melody or Manody, or it was the girl that was taking care of Hamu in the special. She was voiced by Chopper. There is no question about that. Ikoe Otani, I believe, is the voice actress's name, and I immediately recognized Chopper's voice actress. I was like, there, that is Chopper's voice actress. So that was cool, seeing Chopper's voice actress in a different role. But not only that, Blackbeard's voice actor was voicing Captain Joke, and I was like, dude, like just hearing Blackbeard and the classic music behind, and then him not saying I'm not gonna lie, him and his voice actor not saying it was a little disappointing. But aside from that, it was really, really cool, and it caught me it caught me off guard, because I didn't know. And once again, I had never experienced this special before, so I was like, goodness gracious. And it was so cool, man. I mean, for one thing, it's always great to, at least for me, it's great to find something new. You know, after being a fan of something for so long, and find something new that you can experience for the first time, especially when it took place all the way back then. So it's something new and nostalgic for you. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I popped for the classic One Piece comedy, man. I mean, the initial story in of itself was very solid. It was a filler story, you know, with Hamu and Melody, and how they were trying to get over the fact that they had been overtaken by Captain Joke all those years ago, and they were looking for somebody to save them because their island had been, you know, taken over by him and his crew, and just completely cursed and just oppressed by these characters for so long. They were just trying to find a way out to be able to get out of the situation. But the initial premise, of course, was just an adventure, just the Straws finding this massive hole in the ocean, and that of course led to everything else that happened after that. And it was very, very interesting, man, just going back and seeing all these classic interactions from the classic Luffy and Zoro I see, man, when there's certain interactions that'll always get a pop out of me, especially from back then. Nami and Usopp have such a fantastic chemistry, man. And I was dying of laughter throughout the majority of this film because they were together. It's just because their personalities are so different yet so similar, and it just fits so well. It fits so well, man. But having like the classic Sanji interactions with Melody later on, and of course with Nami, Zoro and Luffy being complete idiots but also lovable idiots, it was great, man. And it really taking that original pirate aesthetic that these guys should not be heroes, or that these guys aren't heroes, they're just doing whatever the Flying Flag nerds they want. And I love how they emphasize on that whenever Luffy initially he gets the piece of paper, or because Hamu, he's sending a whole bunch of letters out for help. I mean, he's sending these things with birds, and Luffy just happens to get his hand in one of them, actually. And that was one of the funniest moments in the entire thing. He gets his finger stuck in one of the in the bottle. He gets his finger stuck in the bottle trying to get the letter out of there. Or at first he thinks it's food. Classic Luffy, at first he thinks it's food, or he tries to drink out of it, and nothing comes out, so of course he tries to see what's in there. He sticks his finger in there and he can't get it out. So then Zoro, being Zoro, grabs an axe and attempts to cut off his finger. That scared Luffy so bad that he pulled it out himself. It's classic comedy. Classic One Piece comedy, man. Great. It was so great just seeing the East Blue crew, man, and the original aesthetic, and the eye catchers, the original eye catchers, the dun 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 dun. Oh man, dude. Dun, 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 ah. Greatness, man. And that was great. And then of course them landing on the island, once again the adventure with Luffy and Zoro. Luffy arrives with a note, and they think because Hamu has been sending out all these letters, he's like, oh man, they're our saviors. They came here to help us. And lo and behold, they were just trying to live. They were just trying to survive, man. They'd been taken in by this current. The dang darn Kraken on the bottom took Sanji and Nami and Usopp and the entire Mary itself and just took it with them. And by God, the Mary was here, man. It was the Mary. Like I'm saying, bro, so much nostalgia, so much great vibes. But yeah, man, the comedy was great. The story, one thing that really caught me off guard was the end of the film, man. The end of the film didn't end in a normal special / movie way, because what this special did that I have to praise it a lot for is that it highlighted a lot of the characters' strengths, but not only just their strengths, it highlighted the character interactions over the action. It showed you that One Piece was an adventure story above all else. So even when the action did take place, it was instantaneous. Zoro fighting initially against the first monster. 5 seconds, he goes to sleep. Classic Zoro moment right there. That is Zoro. Later on, down the line, Zoro tells Luffy he's going to take care of the situation, so he takes 3 random swords. This part was so hype. He comes out in bandana state, picks up 3 random blades, and just starts fighting this thing. Blades keep breaking, keeps fighting. Blades keep breaking, keeps fighting, right? So he's going into like swimwear, and eventually he's able to take it out. But not only is he able to take it out, he takes it out, and he thinks he did it. But no, the one who did the finishing blow on this monster was actually Sanji, who was taking out a commission earlier, but because it's classic Sanji, Mr. Prince Sanji, he goes up into like swimwear, and in great stealth Sanji mode, comes in at the end and makes the save, saving Zoro. And what was great about this moment is that at this time, Zoro and Sanji weren't really rivals, like massive rivals. They still had that tension between them, but they weren't really big rivals. So Zoro respected it. He gave him like the thank you, but then he hated him because like Sanji basically took all the glory. He was like, oh, so you're just gonna get all the best parts, right? I mean, great character interactions, great stuff. Once again, prioritizing, instead of them just looking extremely cool and amazing, it was showing you the character's flaws, and it was showing you why the character flaws make them such lovable characters, and it really emphasizes on that, man. Like, you barely saw these characters looking cool, But yeah, when they did, it hit, man. It hit, and it was so awesome, because usually in specials, they always emphasize on the good. This special emphasized on all that was bad and all the flaws of each individual Straw Hat, but that's what made them so lovable. And if I was somebody watching this special that had no prior knowledge to the series, I'm pretty sure I would keep watching it, just because of how much I truly did love the character interactions, man. I'm telling you, like, that pushed this entire special. The story was fine. All the other stuff was fine, but the character interactions between our crew was second to none, man. I mean, great. It really pushed the special forward. But going back to what I was saying earlier, where the ending really caught me off guard, is that Captain Joke wasn't taken out by Luffy. And that really caught me off guard, because usually when it comes to specials like this, like I said before, especially for the main character is the one that shines and does it all, but Luffy doesn't shine with his action. Luffy shines with the way that his character is, man. Throughout this entire thing, Luffy shines with who he truly is, and not who like the classic or the true main character should be. Luffy's just Luffy, man. And from the beginning of the film, it is just focusing on his flaws, on how he's an idiot, how he mistakes everything for food, how he does not plan to really help anybody, but you know, if it calls for it, he'll repay somebody if they fed him, just like what happened in this situation. So he goes up there, up there towards the towards the mountain where the mountain god is and whatnot, in order to take care of said situation. And what happens after that, he delivers an inspirational speech to Hamu, but he delivers in such a Luffy manner. Like, he does the Fusen. And the Fusen moment is so cool, man. And before I get to the Fusen moment, I saved a screenshot, because the classic Luffy moments, whenever he puts the hat over his head and you don't see his eyes, that's just always goat, always goat. But there was this one moment where he uses the Gomu Gomu no Fusen in order to save Hamu, and to save Nami and Usopp as well. But whenever he does so, he doesn't attack the dang thing in like a really extravagant way with like a bazooka or a Gatling or anything. He just uses the Fusen, tells them to escape, and then he tells Hamu to make his own decision. And he focuses on what it is that Hamu has been struggling with. Hamu wants Nakama. He wants friends. So Luffy tells him, "You want friends? Fine. I mean, if that's what you said you want, then show me what you got, man. Show me your strength, and utilize that very same strength to find other individuals, man. Use that very same strength so that whenever other people see you, they want to be with you. They want to rely on you. You know, whenever you do whatever you want to do to the best of your ability, dog, that's whenever you're trying. That's whenever you will find your true friends, because you're doing what it is that you love and what you want to do. At least the way that I took that's the way that I took that. And that was beautiful. That was beautiful, man, because it didn't come from like a super beast, massive, like I'm Luffy and I'm the MC. No, it was he saved them with his Fusen. He was holding it back with every fiber of his being, and he was still delivering this goat speech to this man, saying, "Hey," and this is something I've always loved about Luffy, but him telling anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, anybody, to utilize your own strength. Like, don't just rely on me. What point does that do in your growth? Like, how is that going to help you grow as a person? You go out and help yourself. You gather your own strength and move forward on your own 2 feet, and that is when you'll find people who will care about you. But you have to gather your own strength first, and that's beautiful. That is so gold. That is so Luffy. Like, this special it just found it with the characters. It just, every single character shined in the best possible way, man, because it truly showed them as characters, not just as these action figures that are going on screen going ham like you usually see in specials and OVAs. This one really went into the characters, into their flaws, and what makes them fantastic. And that was a very powerful Luffy moment. And then towards the end of the film, whenever Luffy actually manages to get rid of all of the urchins, it's not him that delivers the finishing blow. In fact, it's Hamu. Going back to the initial story at hand of Hamu trying to overcome the situation in his island, and him overcoming his own fear and gathering his own strength. So you have Nami and Usopp grabbing the legs, Luffy grabbing him around the shoulders, talking about Captain Joke, and then Hamu goes in and delivers the finishing blow. And I did not expect that. That caught me so off guard. It was a massive twist for me, man. It was a massive twist. So that was great. And then, of course, it ends with them sailing off, and this is such a beautiful moment. Believe starts playing as the Mary sails off. It's floating, and at this time, Skypiea hadn't happened yet, right? Skypiea hadn't even been thought of, because this is 2000. So you have the Mary flying in the air to get out the Navel. I'm like, oh man, dude, the memories of going up the knockup stream. But at this point, I mean, Skypiea hadn't even been thought of, even in the manga, you know. So, but it goes up there, gets out of the Navel, and it was a fantastic last line, because it just truly had the entire spirit of the entire special so far, or of the special just in general, in just one line. And you know, something along the lines of, man, I didn't even get their names. And then Meridine goes, who cares? I mean, they're just pirates anyway. And she's saying this while she was flustered by both Zoro and Sanji, right? And she didn't want to show her face to him, because she knows they left an impact on him. And then Hamu goes, oh yeah, you're right, they are just pirates. And that's how it ends, man. Belief starts playing, they head off, and that was the end of the special. And it was so good, man, because it just captured everything that made classic One Piece in its adventure aspect. It didn't even cover massively over the top battles like we had seen at that point in time. We'd already seen Luffy versus Arlong, Luffy versus Don Krieg, and even Luffy versus Kuro. Like, we'd seen these well choreographed battles and these graphic, extremely well put together battle sequences. But the special didn't want to focus on them. The special wanted to focus on the adventure aspect of One Piece, because if you truly love the adventure aspect of One Piece, then you would come in to tune in the next week. That is what I think their marketing strategy was. They used this special as an end of the year special in order to bring in new fans, and if fans found the adventure side of One Piece to be something fantastic, then of course they would come back and tune in the very next week, you know. And I think it was just a great marketing strategy. And if anybody was coming into this film back in the year 2000, not knowing anything about the series, and they watched it for the first time, I think it did a well enough job of introducing you the flaws of the characters, that if you love the characters and the way they are like this, then you're going to end up loving this series. And I think it was a great introduction to for people to get into the series. So that's some high praise right there. High praise, man. I'm telling you, high praise. I mean, they really nailed the characters for this special. But anyways, man, it might just be the nostalgia talking. You know, like I said, so many things in the special was just done so well, and I think it's just, I mean, I'm overall very optimistic when it comes to the series in general, because I love it. But the simple fact that it's something that I had never seen before from this series, and I'm not done yet, man. I still have a couple of other specials to go watch, and I can't wait to do that. But just the fact that it's something I haven't seen in a long time, combined with the nostalgia of the Kaizoku fan subs and the nostalgia of having the early aesthetic of One Piece, and it just bring back the memories of my initial catch-up experience, and just brought good vibes, man. It was so much fun watching this. I laughed like no other, man. I was laughing so hard watching this special, and it was fantastic, man. But overall, for the special, for the grade, I mean, once again, the characters is what really moved it, but the story itself, it was solid. So I'll give it a good sauce. I was originally gonna give it an okay sauce, because it really was just okay overall. It was a filler, but I'm pushing it to a good sauce because of the characters moments, man. The character interactions and the character moments just really pushed it above and beyond for me. And I guess that's how you know what it is that I prioritize when it comes to stories in general, is characters and character interactions, because that's what makes it all special for me, man. Like, you take these characters, it's something that I've always have high praise for when it comes to Gintama, for example. You take these characters and put them in any situation, and as long as these characters are there and the author knows these characters, they're going to make it entertaining. They're going to make it something worth watching. And so Toei realized they knew Oda's characters. And after everything after that was secondary. The story was secondary, everything else was secondary. And it worked, because after this we did get a rating spike at the time, and it went up to its highest rating so far in just a couple of weeks, and with a 16.6 rating. So it did do a really good job in bringing in new fans and helping them stay for the long run. But I want to thank everybody, man, for watching this. If you have not watched this special, I would highly recommend it. Once again, it's the Adventure in the Ocean's Navel. It was so much fun just seeing the original East Blue crew chilling and having an adventure, joking around, funny character interactions, hilarious moments, and overall just embodying the spirit of the series, man. It was some great stuff. It was some great stuff, and I look forward to watching the very next special I haven't seen yet, Special 2. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll be covering that either sometime. I'm going to go with next week, but if I get some free time, I might cover it this week. I mean, I'm in a good mood after watching this particular special right here. But this has been a mini Recons piece covering this special right here, continuing once again the special movie marathon for this year, commemorating the 20th anniversary of the One Piece anime, as well as the new One Piece Stampede movie coming out. We're going to be watching all the movies and specials, and either rewatching, which is going to be a lot of it, rewatching a lot of the specials and movies, but also for me, watching some specials like this one for the first time, because I finally found them translated, man, and it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling, man. But I'll see y'all next time. Have an awesome day. One Piece greatness. If y'all have seen this film, what did y'all think about it? What did y'all think about the overall story itself and the characters, the character interactions? Just what did y'all think about the adventure in the Ocean's Navel? If you have seen it, if you have not seen it, once again, I recommend it. It'll give you some good laughs. It'll give you some good laughs. I promise you that, man. Great stuff. Classic One Piece comedy. And I'll see y'all next time. Have an awesome day. This has been the Recon's Piece, man.